So what is embodiment? There are two ways that embodiment comes to be. One is through unconscious practice. There are certain habits that we've developed over time from when we were young children that have been reinforced as adults that have created these neural networks in our nervous system that create ways of reacting. So we don't have to think about it. So our brain, our body doesn't have to hold so much to navigate through. So it's a really intelligent way for our body to create these ways of surviving without having to consciously think about it all the time. So there's unconscious ways that we practice habits, how they show up. So an example, for me growing up, I lived in a house where sadness wasn't something that was, I don't want to say allowed, but I learned how to hold my sadness in. And so I learned how to hold my breath. And so I have a certain way of embodying that. So if I feel sadness, and this is so years ago, before knowing that there's a choice here, when I felt sadness, I learned how to armor. I learned how to keep a distance to protect myself. That was survival for me. And it worked in my house growing up. And as an adult, it created barriers for intimacy, for personal relationships, and for work relationships. So I learned to have a new way of practicing, a different way of embodying what shows up when sadness started to arise. So there was an unconscious practice of holding my breath and armoring myself that was in my body. So as an adult, I didn't have to practice it consciously. It was there, but it was not serving me. And so I learned to do the second way that we learn how to embody is through conscious practice.